Imagine a world where data is unbreakable. A future where cyberattacks, data breaches, and digital espionage become relics of the past. No password could be cracked, no message intercepted, no secret exposed. But what if the very technology that makes this possible also grants absolute control to those who wield it? Could the quantum internet be the key to ultimate security? Or the beginning of a digital empire ruled by the few? For decades, the internet has been both a marvel. It has connected billions, revolutionized industries, and transformed the way we live. But it has also become a battlefield. Every day, cybercriminals, intelligence agencies, and corporations engage in an unseen war, fighting for control over information. No encryption method is truly unbreakable, no firewall impenetrable. But what if that changed? What if, for the first time in history, we had a network that was fundamentally unhackable? At the heart of this transformation lies quantum mechanics. Unlike classical computing, which relies on bits of zeros and ones, quantum computing harnesses the power of quantum states, allowing information to exist in multiple states simultaneously. But its true potential isn't just in computing, it's in communication. A quantum internet, powered by the principles of quantum entanglement, could redefine digital security forever. To understand why, imagine two particles light years apart, yet intrinsically linked. When one changes, the other responds instantly, no matter the distance. This is quantum entanglement, a phenomenon so strange that even Einstein called it spooky action at a distance. Now apply this to communication. If two people share entangled particles, any attempt to intercept their exchange would disturb the system, making eavesdropping impossible. In essence, quantum information cannot be copied, stolen, or manipulated without detection. The implications are staggering. In theory, this network would be immune to cyberattacks. Governments, banks, and military organizations could transmit sensitive data with absolute confidence. Whistleblowers, journalists, and dissidents could communicate without fear of surveillance. The promise is clear: a new era of digital trust, where data remains untouchable. But history warns us. Every great innovation carries unintended consequences. The early internet was built on utopian ideals, a vision of free and open information. Yet, over time, control consolidated in the hands of a few. Corporations and governments shaped its evolution, exploiting vulnerabilities for power, surveillance, and profit. If the quantum internet delivers on its promise, who will control it? Will it democratize privacy, or will it create an unbreakable system of surveillance? We stand at the edge of a technological shift unlike any before. The quantum internet could be the ultimate protector of truth, or the most powerful tool for control ever conceived. As researchers race to bring this vision to reality, one question remains. If information becomes perfectly secure, what happens when that security is in the wrong hands? The idea of an unhackable internet sounds like science fiction. A network where every transmission is immune to eavesdropping, where security isn't based on complex algorithms, but on the fundamental laws of physics. Yet, this is precisely what the quantum internet promises: a future where data cannot be intercepted, altered, or stolen. But to understand how, we must step into a world that defies classical intuition. In the realm of quantum mechanics, information behaves unlike anything we experience. Traditional computing relies on bits, binary units of zeros and ones. But in quantum computing, these units called qubits exist in a state, meaning they can be both 0 and 1 at the same time. This ability to hold multiple states simultaneously allows quantum systems to process information in ways that classical computers simply cannot. But the real breakthrough comes from another quantum phenomenon. When two particles become entangled, their states are linked, no matter how far apart they are. A change in one instantaneously affects the other, even if they are separated by vast distances. This eerie connection forms the foundation of the quantum internet, allowing data to be transmitted in a way that is fundamentally different from anything used today. This is where quantum key distribution, or QKD, enters the picture. In classical encryption, security depends on mathematical complexity, codes that are difficult but not impossible to break. Given enough time and computing power, any encryption method can eventually be cracked. But with QKD, encryption keys are generated using entangled photons. The moment an outsider attempts to intercept or measure them, the entanglement collapses, immediately alerting both sender and receiver that their communication has been compromised. In theory, this creates an unbreakable form of encryption, one that cannot be bypassed by even the most advanced supercomputers. The implications are staggering. Cybercrime, data breaches, and espionage could become relics of the past. Governments could secure classified intelligence without fear of leaks. Financial transactions, medical records, and personal data could be locked away with absolute certainty. A digital world where information is untouchable, protected not by firewalls and passwords, but by the fundamental laws of nature. Yet, this raises a profound question. If information can no longer be intercepted, who decides who gets access to it? For decades, encryption has been a tool of power, tightly controlled by governments and intelligence agencies. Historically, the strongest encryption methods were first developed for military and diplomatic use, before being made available to the public. What happens if quantum security follows the same path? Already, some of the world's most powerful nations and corporations are racing to build their own quantum networks, raising concerns that this technology may not be equally available to all. Will a select few control access to unbreakable encryption, while others are left behind with outdated, vulnerable systems? And if a government or a corporation monopolizes this technology, does that truly mean greater security or just greater control? For the first time in history, we are on the verge of creating an internet that is immune to surveillance. But does that mean true privacy for all? Or will it simply shift power into fewer hands? For centuries, control over information has meant control over power. Wars have been won through intelligence, economies shaped by who holds the secrets, and governments secured or overthrown by the ability to manipulate data. Now, as the quantum internet emerges, a new question arises. Who will control this unprecedented technology? The race to dominate quantum communication is already well underway. The United States, China, and the European Union are pouring billions into research, each vying for an edge in what some call the next arms race. But unlike traditional military technology, the quantum internet isn't just about national security. It's about controlling the very infrastructure of the digital world. If one country succeeds in establishing a functional quantum network before the rest, it could dictate the future of secure communication, effectively locking its adversaries out of the next generation of cyberspace. China has already taken the lead. In 2016, it launched Mischius, the first quantum communication satellite, successfully demonstrating entangled particle transmission between ground stations thousands of kilometers apart. This was a breakthrough moment, proof that quantum encryption could work on a global scale. Meanwhile, Europe has committed to an ambitious quantum initiative, aiming to integrate quantum networks into existing infrastructure. The United States, on the other hand, is taking a decentralized approach, with government agencies and private companies racing to develop competing quantum technologies. But this competition is about more than just scientific progress. Intelligence agencies have relied on digital surveillance for decades, exploiting weaknesses in encryption to gather information. A fully realized quantum internet threatens to render those methods obsolete, leaving agencies scrambling to adapt. The NSA has already warned that quantum encryption could push intelligence operations into the dark, eliminating their ability to monitor digital communications. But does this mean governments will simply accept their loss of access? Or will they seek alternative ways to maintain control? There is another concern: the privatization of quantum networks. Tech giants, including Google, IBM, and Alibaba, are aggressively investing in quantum research. If these corporations develop proprietary quantum communication systems before governments can regulate them, the digital future may not be governed by nations, but by private entities. What happens when the ability to communicate securely is no longer a public right, but a service owned and controlled by a handful of corporations? History has shown that no technology remains purely neutral. The early internet was built on ideals of openness and free information exchange. Yet today, it is dominated by centralized platforms that dictate the flow of content, information, and even public discourse. If the quantum internet follows the same trajectory, will it become a tool for digital liberation, or the most exclusive system of control ever devised? As nations and corporations battle for dominance, the future of secure communication will not be determined by technology alone, but by those who seize control of it first. And in a world where power is built on information, whoever commands the quantum internet may dictate the rules of the digital age. The quantum internet promises an era of perfect security, where encrypted messages become unbreakable and digital transactions remain untouchable. But for every system designed to protect, there are those seeking ways to break it. And in the case of quantum communication, the stakes have never been higher. For decades, cybersecurity has been a battle. hackers develop new methods of infiltration. Security experts respond with stronger defenses. But the quantum internet disrupts this equation. Unlike traditional encryption, which relies on computational difficulty, quantum encryption is theoretically uncrackable. There is no mathematical loophole to exploit, no brute force attack that can bypass its defenses. Yet history has proven that no system is ever truly invulnerable. One potential weakness lies not in the technology itself, but in its implementation. The transition from classical to quantum networks will be gradual, creating hybrid systems where old vulnerabilities persist. Any weak link in the infrastructure, a misconfigured node, a compromised endpoint, could allow attackers to intercept data before it even reaches the quantum layer. And as with any emerging technology, human error remains one of the greatest risks. A poorly designed protocol, a single overlooked flaw, and the promise of unbreakable security could unravel. Beyond infrastructure, there is another, more unsettling threat: the rise of quantum hacking. If the quantum internet grants perfect security, then those who control it may be the only ones with the power to bypass it. Governments and corporations developing quantum networks may build backdoors into their own systems, hidden vulnerabilities that allow them to access communications under specific conditions, while justified in the name of national security. These secret entry points could also be exploited, turning the very foundation of trust into a tool for surveillance. And then, there is the final unknown, the possibility of an even greater quantum breakthrough. Right now, quantum cryptography is considered unbreakable because measuring quantum states disturbs them. But what if future advancements allow attackers to observe quantum systems without triggering detection? Theoretical physics offers glimpses of such possibilities, from weak measurement techniques to exotic quantum effects not yet fully understood. If a way to secretly tap into quantum transmissions were discovered, it would render even the most secure networks vulnerable, without anyone realizing they had been breached. The quantum internet is often described as the end of hacking, the final solution to digital insecurity. But history warns us that no system is ever truly immune to exploitation. The question is no longer whether quantum communication can be broken, but who will be the first to break it. The quantum internet stands at the edge of realization, promising a future where information is protected by the very laws of physics, a world where hacking, surveillance, and digital espionage become relics of the past. But as with any technological revolution, the reality may be far more complex. If the past has taught us anything, it's that every new advancement brings both opportunity and consequence. The internet itself was once envisioned as a tool for free information exchange. Yet today, it is a battleground of surveillance, misinformation, and control. Could the quantum internet follow the same path? If access to quantum encryption is not universally distributed, will it create an even deeper divide? There is also the question of how this technology will shape human society. When absolute security becomes possible, does it empower individuals, or does it empower those who control the infrastructure? If governments, corporations, and intelligence agencies build the first quantum networks, will they use them to create true privacy, or to tighten their grip on global communications? And then, there is the unknown. Science has a way of defying expectations, revealing loopholes in systems once thought to be impenetrable. Could there be yet undiscovered quantum phenomena that shift the balance once again? Could the very technology designed to secure our future become the key to its greatest vulnerabilities? One thing is certain: the quantum internet may be the most powerful, or the ultimate instrument. And as we stand on, one final question remains: will this technology set us free, or will it redefine what? This video has come to an end, but the discovery continues. Check out more content on the channel and subscribe so you don't miss what's next. Thank you for watching.